Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So Orange County clerk finally posted the scanned and uploaded the new letter from Sarah Boone. Remember, she was talking all about it and she hand delivered an updated version to Judge Wooten last week. So I'm going to go through that and I'm going to try to make the screen as big as I can for you guys to read it. If not, I'm going to make sure I include if you can't read it, the Orange County Clerk of Courts. You can always look up the records documents, and anything in green is a public document, and you can download that and read it to your heart's content if that's what you prefer to do. So let me pull up the letter. So this is the latest letter from Sarah Boone. It actually looks like it was handwritten on June 29th. It's looking like from the top right corner, and it says hand delivered 7/21/23, revisions made on 7/20/23, original not uploaded, to date second attempt to make public, like everything else in my case, including all my other letters, freedom of speech, mine. All for your review, critique, judgment, understanding, try it. Looks like we're going to be as sarcastic as normal. I did glance through it, but I didn't read everything into detail here. Clarify, to become or make clear. Clarity is clearness per the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So I guess she's been to the jailhouse library recently. Where do I even start? Through the officer inmate grapevine and a letter I received from my fan mail. Apparently she gets fan mail. And usually the only way I find anything out regarding my case, since there is no communication from my current attorney, now 10 weeks more of complete silence, and yes, my 6th attorney, which I will clarify momentarily. Of course, she's talking about Bankowitz. I was made aware my last letter was featured on the news locally, realistically meaning globally. Apparently my very legitimate, lawful, real questions and concerns I asked and am still caused a stir on top of the already engulfing whirlpool my case has become and made out to look like, which it is not. Hence my previous questions from said letter. I am trying to protect and maintain my truth, which no one knows, since no one else will, however I can, and keep some of the illicit ugliness at bay. Mismanagement at its finest in everything. Whew, all right, Sarah. Why wasn't I included at all? Why wasn't I asked prior to being highlighted so I would know what was said or asked or criticized so I could rightfully defend myself? What was so newsworthy? By not including me is unfair and adds to the assumptions of what everyone else wants me to end up being and thinks I am. This is wrong and also adds to the prejudgment of my case. All of the idiotic theories, empty opinions, false accusations is all the ignorance world knows from all the pertinent private case details available to everyone except me, the defendant in my case. How can I defend myself? I can't, so everything gets meaner, more evil, corrupt, and out of control. I believe this is what a trial is for, right? The world is supposed to learn everything about my case during the trial, right? This is not justice or a system, right? All fairness has been completely removed, right? Well, that's true. We should be learning about the stuff from the trial, but it's a couple issues. A, this is taken, you're talking right before the pandemic was when the alleged suitcase murder happened. And here we are in the end of July of 2023. And any letters you write, Sarah, they're going to end up on the public record on your file, which of course you already stated above, and you were very clear that you want them there. So once it becomes public record, anyone can get a hold of them. So were any of my questions answered? Was anything at all clarified regarding evaluations, amendment violations, case sensitivity, protection, suppression? What's the video hit count reach now? My last letter was over 3 million. How much does that shareable income make for everyone? Did anyone locate my attorney or discovery? Everything everyone everywhere in the world knows has seen or listened to all of my discovery again except me. I'm going to assume she's talking about court TV again here on that particular video. In the meantime, here's a corner piece to my convoluted puzzle. All are wondering when it will be finally put together to see what the real picture is, and also a huge disentanglement of only an inkling of some of the misunderstandings and ignorance swirling about in my case. Before you try wearing my slides, know where they've been. Well, they've been around the Orange County Jail, from what I understand, Sarah. My attorneys, 6. When and if I've said numerous times in my previous letters why not by choice I am on a 6th attorney. Well, there's a lot to that, and she's going to go through it here, so let's see what she's got to say. Here is some clarity so everyone can finally have some understanding why my slides are so worn, but most definitely walkable still. Well, I think that you only get one pair of slides in jail. Maybe you need, extra money in your commissary to get a newer pair. I don't know how that works exactly, but definitely think that unless they're broken, I don't think they replace those. Attorney number 1, private, February 2020 through May 2022. This attorney sold me the world, promised exoneration, and supplied an overabundance of other continuous false hopes so I would accept his offer to become my attorney. He had no idea what my case was going to be or was really about. He then deserted me, his client, naive and new, 2 weeks before my first scheduled trial due to irreconcilable differences, meaning I was not persuaded enough to agree with what he wanted me to say or do, and that was not what happened. There was no trust. There was no strategy, and if there was, I was never included in on it, or an innumerable amount of other case-defining details and questions left unanswered before going to trial. I felt he was sabotaging my case and setting me up for failure due to his micro amount of experience, which I found out after the fact and was not disclosed prior to my acceptance of his representation in my macro-sized case. Nonetheless, when we did meet to discuss my case and I asked for updates about any progress, he would start talking to me about his client in Colombia. His clown of a sister-in-law, his nephew going to water parks, trips he's taken, his regrets, where he bought his gold sneakers. Gold sneakers, okay. And many other unrelated, unimportant, time-consuming stories. All the while, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and why he's not answering any of my questions. Nothing was ever completed or accomplished or communicated. Building 1,000 fires, waiting and needing to be put out before making another to be left ablaze. I was always ignored and in the dark, concerning and dreadful perpetual question mark looming still over my head. So much I prepared an 8-page packet for Judge Wayne C. Wooten to provide during both court dates defending myself against my attorney's untrue, unresearched withdrawals. No one asked me nor permitted to speak my truth, to help him and the court understand my real concerns along with all the carryover since day one. I was trying to avoid going through any of this again going forward. It had already been 2.3 years. I wanted the judge to include me, and I know I have his side also in everything. Plus, I knew Judge Wooten would be appointing my next attorney in hopes he would listen and appoint a more suitable, experienced one accordingly to save time for everyone to progressively move forward. He must have been throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded. This attorney, number 1, was, well, I guess this would be number 2. This is number 1, I guess she's saying state appointed. Is untrustworthy, unreliable, unprofessional with poor leadership skills, and extremely unorganized. He was unable to perform ethically and as an adult, ignoring his client, misleading and deceiving. He didn't even respect me enough to speak with before his withdrawal to try and remedy or figure anything out to stop. I was totally blindsided because of the magnitude of his ineptness and dereliction of duty. As a result, withdrawing from my case at the 11th hour after taking over 2 years with nothing. I guess this is the original attorney. I knew of but disappointed. I could have reported him to the Florida Bar for legal malpractice. Exhaustion 1. I'm also still waiting on him to release all of my case files and documents obtained and accrued during his representation, including well over 100 pages of my handwritten notes and information, which is irreplaceable. He is still not helping. Him no longer being my attorney was not my choice. So I guess he decided he didn't want to work with Sarah anymore and just told the judge, I'm going to wipe my hands of that. But if he does have documents from her case, those really do need to be in the hands of the current attorney, which is Bankowitz. Attorney number 2, number 3, number 4, public defenders, appointed by judge in court, May 2022 through June of 2022. So now we get to the actual public defenders, because I guess she used whatever money she had for the number 1, and she didn't have any left. Judge Wayne C. Wooten and the court repeatedly appointed me public defenders, 3, without any research or care, and after I continuously explained to each and tried to the judge court that they could not represent me due to their representations of the decedent. We've done our homework, I was told. I received 3 withdrawals, none by choice. Definitely not systematic. Well, here's the thing, Sarah. If you're getting a public defender, you don't really get to choose. They just give you one. So it's not like you get to go, oh, I don't like this one. I want a different one. Attorney number 5, conflict, appointed by judge court, June 2022 through July 2022. Well, it's a very short one for attorney number 5. Upon our first and only meeting, this attorney expressed his mass confusion and why he was appointed by Judge Wooten, as he was leaving for a teaching job out of Orlando within the week. I learned more from this attorney in one meeting regarding my case than all prior combined. It was extremely disheartening. He could not continue representation and set the bar going forward, especially regarding honesty and respect. I received only 2 letters from him. Introduction, one introduction and 1 withdrawal. He also did not know where any of my discovery was or notes. Now 5 attorneys later, not by choice. Attorney number 6, conflict, appointed by judge court, July 2022 through present. Here is Bankowitz. 1 year mark, 7/11 of 2023, 12 months, 365 days, 52 weeks. It's good to know she knows math. Summarized, 8 total months, 240 days and counting. Are with absolutely no communication in any form. Completely inactive. Total amount of hours as coin-appointed attorney, over 8,760. Total times met with client, me, 6. Total hours spent with client, 7. Total phone hours given to client from attorney, 2. Numbers that work, 0. Remember, we heard all about this issue with the prior letter. Total time speaking to client via phone, 0. Total number of 15-minute video visits with client, 4. Total number of letters sent to attorney trying to communicate, 8. Total number of letters to the judge trying to communicate with my unsuccessful communication with my attorney in hopes he will communicate with him to communicate with me, 7. Letters to other parties to communicate, 3. Total times in court, 3. 1 was an attempted withdrawal, 2 carryover and over. The last time I saw my attorney was May 18th of 2023. Where is the progress after 1 entire complete year? Unknown. Everyone, please look on the Orange County, Florida Clerk of Court's website and see for yourself. So she's actually telling everybody, please do look at my records. Am I looking at it wrong? Reading the contents incorrectly? The mass majority of work seems to be from my correspondence. If not my letters, there's minutes. Some live to view from my non-progressive lackluster court dates, stating the same information and same continuances, and of course none of my comments, concerns, or questions from any. I just don't sit there. Edited like my case. She's not wrong. A lot of the documents uploaded are these letters, but from what I understand, this could be hurtful because it goes to everywhere. But again, it's her right to write as many letters as she wants to the court. I feel it important also to communicate to everyone so you understand the undertaking it is for an inmate to attend court and why it is so important to me to have progress to report to make the day count. We are woken up at 3 a.m., taken to a holding cell and wait plus and minus 4 hours, then taken to the courthouse and put in another holding cell for however many hours until court time, for only a 5 to 10 minute opportunity in front of the judge to say anything if at all. Then taken to another holding cell for however long, transported back to another holding cell, wait however long, then taken to another holding cell, then back to our dorm. You mean your cell? Most court dates are court days, spending between 8 to 14 hours for little to no time to speak. It's important to me, us. We matter. Hence my letters. What will be said for this one, I wonder? Well, the fact that it takes all day, like a work day or more, Sarah, you're getting out of jail, so I know you're being transported from vehicle to holding spot, but it's got to be more interesting than sitting around jail, you know? Like Lois looking to the skies for Superman. Oh, another analogy. I'm hoping and praying for an attorney to step up and truly represent me with honesty, intensity, understanding, respect, and perspective. When they introduce themselves, they can meet also the real me, properly. Not the Frankenstein monster I'm being so wrongfully and incorrectly pieced together as from all the propagandized, lucrative defamation and attempted destruction of my character and still intact integrity. Clearly, also everyone can see all of the aforementioned information regarding my attorneys was not ever a strategy of mine, nor will it be. Is it a strategy of the judge in court? If you're thinking you're going to get a seventh attorney, Sarah, I don't think that's going to happen. The fact that it's been postponed again until October, and from what I understand, October may not happen. Depending upon this expert situation, because once the expert, if they get approved, they have to do all the work, and then the state, of course, has to come in and they have to do compare notes. So at this point, that's your case, though. I mean, so as much as it's taken all this time to get taken care of, and I understand it's frustrating, and it's the fact of the matter is that is your defense. So you really don't have anything else besides that you need someone to back you up on this battered spouse defense. So guess I'd say gotta wait until let's see if the JAC approves that for you. Judge Wooten, will I be included, please, in my upcoming status hearing prior to my PTC, which is also the 1 year mark of attorney number 6 on 7/11/23. Yes, Sarah, you've been included on all the stuff this month. I know the one before you weren't, but there really wasn't anything happening. Will it be permitted? I was not. Attendance from you, like all the news channels and professional, in quotes, YouTubers. I hope I finally see my attorney, whom I'm sure will tell me, as you so graciously explained to me in my last PTC I was made a part of, consuming my minutes of your invaluable time, that you and he have other clients. I am a client and have been for over a year with this attorney and paid tax dollars to utilize all of my available resources, including and not limited to a state government attorney appointed by the court. And you will always have clients. You just never know when you may become one yourself. Please do not discredit my truth. I am who, not what. Respectful and diligent, Sarah Boone. So, what do you guys think of that letter? I obviously she's frustrated, and that part I get. The problem is, you have public defenders. Once you hit a public defender status, I think a lot of it is all about getting them to you when they should. But I do agree that you should be able to be meeting with Bankowitz, and he should be keeping you up to date on your case, getting ready for for trial. But at this point, we're not going to have a trial, maybe by the holidays or early 2024. It's looking like, because of this forensic expert issues with the hourly rate. That said, the attorney should be speaking to you, if not in person, through Zoom, phone, what have you. They should be speaking to you. That I agree with completely. But other than that, I feel like pushing on the judge, telling him that he's controlling all this stuff and making it harder for you and your case. I'm not so sure that's a good plan, because I mean he's the judge in this case, and he's been the judge since the get go there, Sarah. So I don't know. I just feel like your frustration is warranted and understood, but gotta be a little careful with that. And yeah, because remember when you were in court last week, when you raised your hand, and yes, it was very polite, and you said you wanted to speak up, you could tell Judge Wooten was not happy. He was just like, I gave you all this time, and basically I'm busy. We have to move on to someone else. So I do think there's a lot of frustration enough to go around through yourself, the judge, and the attorney, and also probably the state as well, because I'm sure they would like to get this show on the road as well. So the bottom line is, it's been a very, very long waiting period for you, and I agree. It sucks, and I don't know, our system just should be working faster than this. The pandemic excuse is over. However, I think you're going through, 5 more attorneys since your initial attorney that you hired is probably part of the issue. And getting that expert, because I don't believe you've ever listed anywhere in any of the letters that I've seen that you have this, battered spouse defense. It seems like it's very, very new. So I don't know how that's going to back you up unless it's in those pages of stuff that you talked to with your original attorney before you went to public defenders. If that's the case, I would highly suggest you get a hold of that, because that's going to be very important to your case. But yeah, so again, we're hurrying up and waiting, and obviously Sarah is the one really waiting. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And with that said and done, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.